this is Stratton, and welcome to It's Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, July 26, 2024, and tonight, I'll be talking about Friday Night SmackDown, but I'm not alone. Joining me for this review is none other than fellow WrestleManiac, Josh.
Hello, everybody. Evening. Yes, the midlife crisis continues. Yes, don't adjust your television sets or YouTube screens. Yes, I am in a pink jacket and a black hat because you know what? I figure why not add a little bit of style? A little bit. Now, again, this is my interpretation, but again, comment below if you think I've lost my freaking mind. So
I think you lost your freaking mind.
That's okay. It's all right. Our wrestling god JBL wears a hat. It's not a cowboy hat, but got to do something a little bit different.
I'm really glad that you're doing a lot better. I know you were dying last week.
Oh, good Lord. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, with the COVID and the Rona, it was hard to do anything. I mean, I'd sat in front of this camera, literally got 2 minutes in, just trying to record and couldn't do it. So definitely feel a lot better and actually have my voice back because I lost it for at least a week.
That's good.
I'm a talker, so losing that was the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I know. I bet. All right. Let's kick things off talking about the tag team title contender gauntlet match because I feel like this was probably the best thing on tonight's show. Now, tonight's show was taped last week. As we all know, the WWE is touring Japan, so this was a taped show.
It was. It really, truly, I mean, if you compare it, again, I know there was a tag team turmoil on Raw, what seemed like, God, months ago, but this one definitely, it lived up to a lot better expectations than I expected, and maybe that's why, because again, with the talent involved, I didn't expect as good a performance as I expected, if that makes any sense.
Well, let's look at the teams who were involved. It was Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza, the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, yes, boys, the OC, and the Bloodline. So I think that looking at these teams, I think it was pretty obvious who was going to be. And I'm going to bring up what Ram Jam said in a little bit.
Yes.
Because I was going to mention it too. So, I think it made it kind of obvious. I mean, DIY was watching backstage. I feel like this match was the best match of the entire SmackDown that happened today. I do agree, Ramjam. WWE missed the opportunity for the Good Brothers and Tonga and Tonga Loa to have an interaction. They did. I was really hoping that they would have an interaction with the Bloodline, but that didn't happen because the Good Brothers were eliminated by the Street Profits.
Even a stare down, even them, I was thinking each that they had walked down the ramp and just kind of looked at each other and just kind of went like this, something. And there really was nothing there. I was kind of expecting a little bit, but maybe they're saving it for AJ coming back because, again, AJ's kind of disappeared essentially. So maybe we'll get AJ and Solo in a feud and we'll get, the Good Brothers, the Bullet Club versus the Bloodline. Why not?
Well, maybe Finn Balor would join them.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I'd like that too.
Yeah, well, we gotta wait and see what this goes. But like I said, this was the best match. We had some interesting matchups here. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, they were thrown together, but they actually make a pretty great tag team.
It's funny, and I've never done this with a tag team before, but I was thinking what a cool finisher they could do is, Baron Corbin chokeslams people and again, I know this is just silly, but I was thinking, what if he goes to chokeslam, and as he goes down, here comes Apollo, does a backstabber, boom. It'd be a pretty cool move, especially as fast as Apollo is. He could jump up high, boom, hit it. Be a pretty sweet move, I would think.
What would you call it?
Oh, that I don't know. I have no idea. Either that or end of days to a backstabber. I don't know. I mean, again, I just think that it definitely worked a lot better than I expected. And, Baron Corbin flying over the top rope. Apollo Crews makes him interesting and vice versa. So this could be a new odd couple tag team.
Yeah. And, JJ just good with odd couples.
They certainly do. I didn't think him and Braun were going to work together, and they worked great together.
Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga are victorious. No surprise there. They're going to face CIY next week for those tag titles. Jacob Fatu looks amazing. They're booking him correctly. My complaint, if I had one, would be that Why are they defending the tag titles next week on the Go Home show to SummerSlam? Why not put the match on SummerSlam? But I guess they have other plans for the Bloodline.
It's funny because if you think about Cody Rhodes keeps getting his buddies destroyed. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what would be perfect? DIY gets destroyed. Anybody that aligns with Cody keeps getting destroyed. Any tag team, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. And again, it's kind of too late now, but they really should have told the story of Cody getting different tag teams, the Street Profits, to join him. And then, again, you talk about DIY, but you get this whole idea of, finally, he's like, I finally found a team that's going to kick your butts. And it's Jimmy and Jey Uso. And there we start the beginning of the new bloodline or the old bloodline returning. But maybe that's what they're doing to SummerSlam. Who knows?
If we're going to get Jimmy and Jey Uso involved in this, we have to get Jimmy and Jay versus Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa here. That's the dream match for so many people.
And maybe that's what they're doing. Nick Aldis, we got one more SmackDown, and maybe Nick Aldis has had enough of the bloodline and said, you know what? You guys won the tag championships, great. But now I've got a team for you, a mystery tag team at SummerSlam. A little bit of intrigue. And of course, they're like, bring whoever you want to, and boom. Again, I kind of feel bad for, the fact that, not that Jacob Fatu doesn't deserve to be in it, but the poor Gorillas of Destiny. He's got his eye all jacked up now. He's a pirate now. So I thought that was a little crazy. There's storytelling to it, but I don't know. There's something going on because they've kind of kept him out of the loop, it seemed like.
Well, I feel sorry for this DIY, especially if they lose, because they literally just won those tag titles.
The bloodline must pose.
I really hope they don't hot potato those tag titles.
Not unless the Usos are returning next week to cost them, and then we get the match of the Gorillas of Destiny versus the Usos, and that may be the thing. That may be something that we could see. Anything can happen on SmackDown. Again, I would think it'd be weird for DIY to lose it, but unless they lose their mind and pull the trigger to have Solo win the title, which I don't think they're going to do, that's the only reason I think you would have them win the tag titles.
Unless Jimmy returns early.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And he costs them the tag titles?
Mm-hmm. He could have some help. And his brother Jay.
I don't think they'll bring Jay into the mix that quickly. I think that maybe Jimmy might return.
Well, he's busy with Mommy on Raw anyway, so
Yeah. All right. So SmackDown actually kicked off with the Bloodline, as we learned, as you alluded to, Tonga Loa looking like a pirate over here with that eye patch. He suffered an eye injury apparently, and they were gonna. And they called this was kind of like, oh, you guys need a forfeit, but then Jacob Fatu took Tonga Loa's place here.
And was Solo kind of having a veiled threat, but talking nice to Nick Aldis, which usually Roman didn't really care and just talked to Nick Aldis how he wanted to. So I thought that was interesting that he was kind of like, hey, it's all right. Bloodline's going to be involved. Just understand. It is what it is. So a little bit different, almost like a Tony D. Angelo from NXT. Kind of just, we got this covered, man. Don't worry about it.
I can kind of see that.
He's playing the Godfather role versus the Tribal Chief. It's a little bit different.
I know what Tony D'Angelo is. I may not watch NXT.
Oh no, I know. No, I just mean the way he's dressing now is a bit more Godfatherish than it is the Tribal Chief. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
No, I know you know who Tony D is. Look at my get up here.
Okay, so next we get LA Knight, versus Santos Escobar, and I thought this was a decent match. Of course, LA Knight, picks up the victory. I think he needs some momentum heading into SummerSlam. At the end, it seems like Santos Escobar and Logan Paul kind of formed a temporary alliance. Because remember, LA Knight, didn't pin Santos Escobar in that triple threat match.
That's true, and I believe if I'm wrong, didn't Santos help Logan Paul as well way back when?
Don't recall, but I think he did.
Seemed like they had an alliance before with the Knucks and things like that because he beat Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship.
Oh,
right?
It's not that he helped him. He didn't help him. Yeah, he did help him. He put the knuckles in there. Mm-hmm. But he tried to play it off. Carlitos exposed him. Carlito.
Yep.
So pretty much he gets double teamed by Santos, Escobar, and Logan Paul. And like, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the backstage interview.
Sure.
He pretty much says he's got everybody he knows coming to SummerSlam, and he's the ultimate underdog turned top dog. He kind of alludes to like what, like a special guest or something, you know?
Yeah, Mr. Cleveland. I was trying to figure out who that is in my head. I know the Miz is from Cleveland, but I can't really think of anybody else that would be on Logan Paul's side. But Miz is technically not a heel either.
What about his brother Jake?
Maybe. That could be. That could very well be a possibility because Jake Paul just had his fight and won his fight, I believe. So that very much could be. You might be right there.
We've seen Jake Paul just like one time in WWE.
That makes sense. That really would make sense.
Guess we gotta wait and see. And he ended by mocking LA Knight and saying, "Yeah."
Yep, that little dig. He's so good. And just the fact that he's not facing Logan Paul, he's facing the, what did he call it? He said the influencer, I think, of the YouTube stars. Basically just saying, you know, you're not just fighting just regular Logan Paul, you're fighting the megastar, which I thought was a really nice line.
Yeah, the megastar. Jake Paul gonna be busy getting ready to get KO'd by Mike Tyson. Hello.
I hope so.
So Naomi gets interviewed backstage, and she's pretty much talking about Blair Davenport, but then this interview shifts focus over to Jade and Bianca. You know, it seems like there's still, I guess, like a friendship there, but they're not as stable anymore. I mean, that stable was literally only to WrestleMania, and then they kind of just separated Naomi from Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, again, I think Adam coined the term "black girl magic." I think, right? I mean, in a way, talking about them too, they kind of had a little, I don't want to say heelish, but they kind of had a little bit more of a heelish tone in their attitude tonight, I noticed. Once we get to that segment, we'll talk about that too.
Which is actually the next segment, so let's talk about it.
I just think they had a heelish tone. Like, where's these girls at? Where are they at? I mean, they almost, if you tuned in, you really kind of thought Jade and Bianca were the heels, at least the way they were talking. I don't know what it is, if it's their tone or their attitude, but they didn't. For me, I was glad that the witches of Endor, whatever their name are, the unholy union came out and just kicked their butts, essentially, until they got run off, of course, by Jade and Bianca. But I don't know. I still don't want to see the match, because you could even tell when Alba Fire was telling Jade, you ready? You ready? And so there's still some concern there with her greenness in the ring, I think.
I feel like they don't refer to the unholy union as the unholy union. They keep referring to them as Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, And
the witches.
What happened to a tag teams having names here?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things that maybe they just, I don't know. I mean, I thought the unholy union was perfect because, I mean, they feuded for a little bit in NXT. So them turning together was a great way to do it. I mean, so I don't know. I just felt like, and I hope that they are making this Bianca and Jade heel turn. I really do, because I think the way their characters acted tonight, it almost seemed like they know they were good, but they're almost acting like they're too good now. Like this should be just assume they're going to win the tag title. So I kind of hope we're getting a heel turn out of them. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I think a heel turn would suit them best. Bianca's been face for a long time. Put in a tag team. What I think she has left to do is to turn heel.
Cut that damn hair. Please, please, please. I'm tired of the.
I don't mind the hair. I actually don't mind the hair. I like the hair.
It's just me. I think it's after a while, it's so played out, at least to me. But then again, that's me though.
So Terrence Crawford approaches B-Fab and the Street Profits. I guess he was just there to promote his match. I
don't even know who the hell it is. I'm like, Terrence, I thought he was a football star, and I was like, oh, he's a boxer. Okay. I mean, that shows how much I know, but it's okay. But we already had him once. I don't love that they're using celebrities this way now. It's kind of like, oh, it's the sportscaster from the local team. I get it, but I don't know. It just feels forced.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know who he was either.
No, I'm not hip that way no more. I'm a dad. I'm not hip no more.
You have your dad jokes.
I do, but they're so bad they're cool in a way.
Okay,
I think that's what it is.
See, so I mean, I had to Google him because I didn't know who he was.
All I know is that they're like, he's got a boxer. It just, to me, it just, again, it feels so forced the way they do it. Because, again, it's like, who? Terrence Crawford. Who the hell is that? Is he a football guy? Is he a basketball guy? I don't know. They didn't do a very good job of, and the thing is, he's not going to be sticking around. So they kept him for 2 weeks. So it's kind of like, so now we're to believe he followed WWE again and showed up on the show again. Because I don't remember them saying like, oh, we're back here for the second time, you know?
Mm-hmm. So we get a Tiffany Stratton segment. And what's interesting about this is that there's two interesting things about this. Nia tells Tiffany she's going to get her suitcase suited for her. Which I feel like, because remember, Bayley destroyed the suitcase last week. I feel like it's going to be all pink and like, it's going to have the straps so she can carry it around like a purse. Yeah, the rhinestones. I honestly can't wait to see how that suitcase looks like.
Barbie in the bank. Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh, I hope, however it looks, I'm sure it's going to be cute. I hope they have it on some dirty shops. I can buy it.
Yep. It's all about what Dosla needs. Like, I hear you loud and clear. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. But another interesting thing here is that kind of Nia Jax is kind of like, don't cash in because you have a short title reign. So she's kind of like warning her. I do think that Tiffany is going to cash in at SummerSlam.
I'm so torn because,
or at least try to.
Tiffany's character is smart, but I still think she's gonna shock everybody and wait. I think they're telling that story, and it's almost too obvious now what's gonna happen. So I think they're gonna do a swerve, and I just don't think it's gonna happen yet.
I could see a scenario where Tiffany is out there in the match, and she accidentally hits Nia Jax, maybe.
Again, I just feel like they're not ready to do it yet. I think they're going to be able to get some because, I mean, look, they're destroying her Money in the Bank briefcase. She's getting a new one. So why take the time to give her a new one just to get rid of it and cash it in?
That's true. That's true. Now, I'm curious to see how I am pretty curious to see how this plays out. I do think she'll cash in, but like you said, maybe not at SummerSlam.
I would think maybe. I don't want to say Bad Blood, but I almost want to think Bad Blood or like a big pay-per-view for a big moment. Maybe the Rumble, something like that. Hey, you know what? Maybe Elimination Chamber. We haven't seen a cash-in like that in quite a while. And I mean, Tiffany is a very smart character, very wily. So I could see her cashing in at Elimination Chamber.
Well, the story here that they're telling with Tiffany right now is her and her alliance with Nia Jax, the Queen and the Princess.
Right.
What if Tiffany helps Nia Jax win the title?
Mm-hmm.
And then she eventually ultimately cashes in on her.
That's kind of what I think, because they want to build Jax up, and I think that's the idea is that, you're going to think Tiffany's never going to cash in on her, and we're going to get a red wedding moment of, holy crap, she's doing it, I think that's going to be something. I think they're going to play up to the Princess and the Queen thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because again, when have you known Nia to get somebody a gift? So evidently there's more trust there now.
Yeah. All right. We get an 8-Town Down Under promo. And this whole segment wasn't really about Terrence Crawford. It was about Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. It was about Austin Theory getting thrown into the fire because of Grayson Waller.
They're still building to the breakup. I mean, and again, it's so weird because they've been I don't think they've been a team very long, maybe since WrestleMania, I guess. But I don't know. I kind of am surprised they're almost teasing breaking them up so soon. Because I think they really didn't get to hit their potential very much. I don't think as tag team champions either.
Grayson Waller gets Austin Theory KO'd by Terrence Crawford. And so, again, adding more fuel to the fire of the eventual split between both.
Yep. I'll still say that Grayson Waller, I think, is a better face than Austin Theory, though. With all his shoe gimmicks and all his kind of, popularity with the television show, Austin Theory, both have a face you could punch, but I think you'd be more apt to hang out with Grayson Waller drinking out of a shoe than you would Austin Theory drinking whatever the hell he does.
I don't drink out of a shoe, and I wouldn't want to drink out of a shoe.
As a guy gimmick, I think it makes more sense because again, they could sell the shoes to drink out of. I don't know. I'm just saying I think Waller has
You
more
would drink out
charisma.
of a shoe.
I mean, not a plain ass shoe, but I mean, if it was a brand new shoe, look, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's the boys. You're hanging out with the boys. Now, for me, myself, and I, hell no. But look, we're talking about the beer drinkers. We're talking about partying. It's what you do sometimes. You just do crazy stuff. I don't, but I'm boring too. So
Not anymore, you don't.
no, not at all. Believe it or not, I never really was a party boy. Shockingly,
Okay.
I was
All
a
right.
saint.
So Cody Rhodes has a sit-down interview, and pretty much I feel like this is such a Cody interview. You know, it doesn't really say much on this. Hold on, I agree. No knock on Theory. I'm just not convinced he can be a babyface. He just comes off as a heel to me.
He is Clayton. My wife said it best. He is Clayton from Tarzan. He just has that douchebag look.
I haven't seen Tarzan in a while. So who's Clayton again?
He's the big bad guy, the one that wants to kill the monkeys and all that
Is
with the
he
gun.
Jane's fiance?
I think he's with Jane, I believe. Yes, and she ends up like leaving him for Tarzan. But yeah, he's got that look of that 1930s villain.
Okay. I feel like basically this ends with him challenging Solo to meet him in the ring next week, 1-on-1. We know that's not gonna happen, and even if it does, we know how it's gonna go.
Yep. I just
didn't do anything for me, honestly.
I think Cody's running out of steam. I think we're running out of steam until Orton comes back and challenges him or KO. This is not working. I don't buy Solo still. I still buy him as the Wish version of Roman Reigns, and they're trying their damnedest to make him get over, but to me, it's not working. Jacob Fatu literally is the damn bloodline by himself. Once they kick Solo out, then the real story begins. Because I would much rather see Cody and Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu basically makes Solo look horrible by comparison. In-ring work, speed. I mean, this is to me what I always had a problem with Solo. Solo tried his best to be Umaga without the face paint, and he had some face paint to begin with. Jacob Fatu literally is the reincarnation of Umaga in terms of speed, in terms of it doesn't matter. You could look at Solo and Jacob Fatu is the one.
Benjamin is right. Hikaleo's on his way.
Another bloodline one. Why not?
But I wonder when you toss in Hikaleo, where he's gonna fit into this story.
I mean, if we want to count it, we've got, let's see, he'd be the fifth member, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members. And then you have Roman, the Usos, and then you could have Sammy if you really want to. And then maybe Cody at Survivor Series, maybe?
Or maybe it's like you said, maybe once Hikaleo joins, they're going to kick Solo out and it'll be 4-on-4.
I wouldn't mind it at all. And I mean, to me, Jacob Fatu has already put himself over so bad, it's not funny. Without even doing anything. This is pretty much, to me, I think about Haku, right? And Haku and Ming and WCW, that was my kind of guy back in the day, right? Even though he really didn't do much, he looked crazy and looks like he would whip your ass. And Jacob Fatu literally has the crazy Samoan look down. And to me, if they don't go with Jacob Fatu, they're missing out on an opportunity there. They have a star in the making. Solo can have time to be built, but Jacob Fatu, all the way. I mean, look at his entrance music. What a badass entrance music there. Besides Tama Tonga's, and Tonga Lowe's is pretty good too, but I'm telling you, if they don't push him, I will be shocked. He moves so fast. It's unnerving to me how fast he moves. And that's saying something.
Yeah, I agree.
You got Scott Steiner coming over there?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
I kind of disagree with this. I don't think that both Roman and Jimmy would return at SummerSlam because you don't want Roman's return to overshadow Jimmy's return. I think that if Jimmy's going to make his return, I think it's definitely going to be at the go-home show to SummerSlam by costing the Bloodline, the tag titles, and I think Roman returns at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that sort of big reveal that nobody's expecting again, because Solo, and we never got the understanding of why Solo has the necklace. We never have really asked that question of, how did he come into possession of it? Roman technically always had it with him. So did Roman give it to him? Did he take Roman out and we don't know?
Maybe The Rock gave it to him.
True. I mean, Rock gives himself championships, so why the hell not? It was his idea all along, anyways.
We get an Andrade interview, and basically Andrade makes it kind of known that he's thinking about going after the U.S. title.
Andrade, I'm so over it. It's the same damn promo. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. That's great, but I don't know if it's a barrier in the. And I don't mean to sound the way I'd sound, okay? But I don't know if it's the English barrier that's the issue, but I still have no idea who the hell Andrade is. He was NXT champion. He was with Zelina, right? But what is his motivation? Until they're waiting for Charlotte to come back to put them together, he kind of just floats out there to me. Yeah, he has great performances, but tell me Andrade's character. You really can't. He's a luchador royalty, but doesn't feel like it.
So with this, Carmelo interrupts him, and Andrade calls him Brawny Jr.
Yeah, I would just call him Little Mello because he's so little, but I know they can't say that on TV.
Because Mello had initially compared himself to LeBron James, but Andrade was like, "No, you're Brawny Jr."
Yeah, they're at least it's so weird what they're doing with Carmelo. He's the #1 draft pick, but yet he's now in a feud with Andrade, who basically was doing nothing on Raw, did nothing on SmackDown.
It's like I told you. It's like I talked about. I mentioned in another stream. The difference between Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes is like night and day. Look how they're booking Braun Breaker on Raw versus how they're booking Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. He was the #1 draft pick. He should have. I'm not saying his storylines need to be identical to Braun Breaker, but you should make him you should book him differently.
I still think his size hurts him. I do, and it's not his fault. It's not. But if you compare him and look at him versus anyone else, he's a damn cruiserweight. If he was cruiserweight champion, great. And not that he can't break the ceiling. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just going to say it. To me, with him without Trick Williams, it's hurt him tremendously. Because he had a bodyguard in Trick Williams, and now it's just Little Mello talking stuff and has no big dude to back him up. Now, if you brought back, and again, I won't get in trouble for saying this, okay, but let's just bring back Omos. The visual of Omos standing over Carmelo Hayes, that's all the security he needs. To me, I know, but you know what? I thought it worked with AJ Styles. Carmelo can talk at least. And so, again, think of the visual. Carmelo is small, but he's got this freaking giant dude behind him, a monster. Imagine Carmelo getting on his shoulders. I just think it would work. It's funny. I tried it on WWE 2K24 just earlier today. I'm like, I want to see what this visual looks like, right? And I put him in a tag team. I'm like, holy hell. To me, it works because almost doesn't have to do nothing. If you think about Diesel, Kevin Nash, all he did was stood there for a long time as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, said nothing. Did a little trip here and there. And so I don't think Omos is going to be world champ, but it gives him something to do. And just the mere visual of this giant man basically coming from above the ring, literally can reach over the ropes, grab whoever Carmelo's facing. I just think it would work.
I don't think people want Omos back, but maybe as a bodyguard, it would be a different story.
Right. Well, look at AJ. He didn't really do much with AJ. He did a couple moves, and I think it worked with AJ.
Yeah, I agree. I think Omos' best stuff was when he was with AJ Styles.
And I think Carmelo could be the same because Carmelo is significantly smaller. And again, I'll have to send you a picture of the visual because to me, just the visual alone gets the fact that now he's little, he can talk a bunch of crap. He's got this freaking giant Nigerian dude behind him that's going to kill everybody.
All right, so the main event ends up being Bayley and Michin versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. This was okay. It was more a 2-on-1 handicap match for the majority of this match. I did like the fact that Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton did work really well together to, pretty much hurt Bayley. They wanted to hurt Bayley, and I think they did a good job at that. I think that they did it really well. Like, they didn't even care about Michin.
Poor Michin. Or Mia Yim, or whatever the hell she's called. I mean, she definitely has talent, and again, in NXT, she did pretty well, but I think she's just lost in the shuffle. She's just a filler. But you know what, though? We can happily say Naomi didn't have to fill the role of getting her ass kicked. So at least they kept her away from that nightmare.
So Tiffany, Stratton, and Nia Jax are victorious. Like I said, they worked really well together in here. And but poor Michin, she didn't do much in this match.
No, unfortunately not, because I think she really has some talent. In NXT, she showed. And even really, honestly, her match with Nia Jax, I mean, as ugly as it was, I mean, I think she really did give some legitimacy to, fighting Nia Jax versus most people.
Yeah.
I know that's what I did during the match too. It's so funny. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, let's move on. This is not the main event. This is the popcorn match.
That wasn't in regards towards the match, and that wasn't.
I know. I'm just kidding.
It's just, yeah. I'm tired. I had a long day. So at the very, very end, we kind of had another Bloodline union. So Sikoa is pretty much, like he mentions, if Roman Reigns has a problem, he knows where to find him. I do think Roman Reigns is returning at SummerSlam at the very end. That's why Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes is main event, because at the very end, I think Roman Reigns is going to come back.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Because they have to do something to put a shot in the arm of this whole Bloodline thing, because really, I'm sorry, but I still cannot buy Solo as a threat. When you have the standoff, if you think about a stare-off between Roman and Solo or Roman and Jacob Fatu, which match do you want to see more?
Roman and Jacob Fatu.
Exactly. So this, to me, is basically just, I hope their way of killing the whole Solo Sikoa is the tribal chief. I don't know what they're going to do, but Solo's not the one. He just isn't.
I hope Roman comes with new music, like a remix of his Head at the Table thing with lyrics. Oh, that would be cool.
That would be. That wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I think he's coming back at the very end. And Jimmy's probably coming back on the Go Home show to SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
It does. It definitely does. And then, because, it's already going to be August, and we got to start building to that Survivor Series War Games match, which I hope is here, because if it is, I'm going to go. I'm not going to miss that War Games match.
Oh, for sure. You got to scream War Games, too. We got to have Regal. Now that Regal's back, we got to hear War Games somewhere.
Yep. All right. As we get ready to sign off, where can people find you? And are you back to podcast?
I am back. I am back alive again, even with a little bit more dash of color, as you see. So no, you can find me below at Russell M Podcast. Definitely going to be more involved. Again, I know I've been saying that, but just been heck the last couple of weeks with funerals and COVID, and my kids had COVID and my wife's had COVID. So it's been pure heck. But you know what? I came back on the other side, clean as can be, and ready to go back. Maybe so. Ready to go again.
Awesome. Glad to hear you're back.
Better than ever.
As far as my stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at @Tatilla_. I talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays. For all things TNA, make sure you check me out every Thursday on Body Slam. As far as next week is concerned, I will be covering the Great American Bash. There's no way I'm missing that Joe Henry concert. And we also got SummerSlam predictions.
Yep.
To next week on A+ Hero Reports. Make sure you tune in for that. So thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live, whenever I release a new video. And I will see you guys Monday after Raw.
That's
Bye.
Right. See ya.